The Thirsty Little Lambs. 3 little lambs used to play together in a green meadow, and through the meadow ran a tiny brook. When the lambs were thirsty, they used to drink the clear, cool water from the little brook. One day, 2 robin redbreasts came flying over to them and chirped, "There's no more water in the brook. It's all gone." The birds went on, "We're so thirsty. We will fly away and look for water." "We're thirsty too." "Baa," the lambs. Then one little lamb, who was called Gray Nose, bleated, "I know a frog called Greencoat. He lives in a pond not very far from here. We will go there and get a drink." It was easy for them to find their way to Greencoat's pond, for Gray Nose knew which way to go. But when they got to where it should be, they just could not see the pond anywhere. Then they heard a voice which came from the grass under their feet. "Alas, yes, there used to be a pond here, but it has dried out in the warm weather," croaked Greencoat. "We are terribly thirsty," bawled Woolly. "If you go to the farm, perhaps the cockerel there will be able to tell you where to find water," suggested Greencoat. So the lambs walked on a bit further until they met the cockerel. "What do you want?" he asked haughtily, as the lambs stood round him on the ground looking rather sheepishly. "Well," said Green Nose, "we want to ask you, Mr. Cockerel, if you can possibly tell us where we can find water." But the cockerel was too unfriendly to help them, and the lambs went away feeling rather miserable. Suddenly, White Nose said, "What fools we are! There is a great big water trough by the side of the main road. It will be full of water." So they all went along to the trough. 4 small robins were sitting on the edge of it. "There's no water here either," they cheeped. "The horses have drunk it all up and it has not been refilled. We will have to look elsewhere." So they flew off, and the poor thirsty little lambs walked on again. "Now I've got a good idea," bleated Grey Nose. "Let's go to the wise old owl and ask her to advise us what to do." But Mother Owl just blinked and hooted. "Dear children, all the animals in the woods and meadows are suffering from the heat. There is no water because it hasn't rained for so long. A little way from here there is a large sheep farm, and they have a big red water trough. Go there and see if there is any water in it." After a while they came to the sheep farm, and White Nose recognized one of the big sheep, who was a cousin of his father's. White Nose went up to the red fence and spoke to him. White Nose's father's cousin said, "I'm sorry, boy, our water has already been drunk, but if you go to the farmhouse where the people live, they will be sure to give you some." White Nose talked a little while with his relative, then he turned round to go back with Grey Nose and Woolly. But they were nowhere to be seen. "Oh ho," bawled White Nose. "They've gone, so I will go alone until I meet them again, and we will see which of us finds water first." But why had Grey Nose and Woolly gone away? The reason was that while White Nose was talking, a dog came up who belonged to the farm. He only wanted to talk to the lambs, but Grey Nose and Woolly didn't know that. They were terribly frightened and ran away. In a meadow they met 3 little rabbits, Lenny and Downy and little Tip, who said they were out for a walk. "We are going to bath in our pond," said Lenny. "May we come too?" asked Graynose. "Because we are very thirsty," added Woolly. The rabbits led the way, and soon they came to the pond. But, as you have probably guessed, there was no water there either. So Graynose and Woolly said goodbye to the rabbits and walked on up the road. Meanwhile, Whitenose was still searching for water. It was rather dull to be alone, but after a while he met another lamb he knew, called Fleece. So they walked along together. When they had walked for a while, they heard some chirping, and there were their friends, the 3 robins. "We have found a pump," cheeped the robins excitedly. "It sends out heaps of water. Graynose and Woolly are already there. It is quite near here, and there is a great big bucket filled to the brim with water." The lambs soon reached the pump and drank all they wanted. My word, it did taste good. They were all so merry now that they were not thirsty any more. At last they were too tired to play, so they lay down to rest. "In the morning," bade Graynose, "we will go to the other animals and tell them to come here to drink the water."